Hi guys, so I thought I would start to film my, I don't know, my palette videos. I want to go through my whole palette collection this year, and I will focus, I think one palette is not enough. I think I will focus on 2 palettes every month and just see how much usage I get out of them and also how it will change the palette. And I will add the Viseart palette. This is the Viseart Spritz, which, by the way, looks like this, which I really like. Really nice format, really nice pan size, handy, and I just really like it. So I used it already, as you can see. I like this palette. This is why I'm adding it. And yeah, so this is how it looks now, and in a few seconds you probably will see how it looks like after months of use. But also I will add this one in so it's not getting too monotone. This one is from Kiko Milano from the Conscious collection. The is less is more palette, number 02. So this one I used quite a bit. You can actually see there's quite a dip in this shade already. This is the palette I use at the moment when I don't really know what to do with my eyes and I just throw something on I know will work. And this shade all over the lid is like one of these really soft one and done colors. I actually can show you. Well, maybe you can't see. It's like a really light taupe. Saying that already, these palettes, this is why I paired them. The Viseart is super pigmented. This Kiko Milano is not pigmented at all. Like, I can give you a swatch here. Like, this is the darkest color, and there's like a purple, and you can see the pigmentation is just not there. Saying that though, it actually works still quite well on the eyes when you use a good coarse brush, and you natural hair brushes sometimes don't work because they're quite hard pressed, these eyeshadows. This one, the Viseart one, works really well though with natural hair eye brushes, but this one I use yeah, plastic brushes, the unnatural hair brushes, and they just really work well with these types of shadows. So let's see how it goes, and yeah, I see you in a second and I will discuss how my month went. Okay, so there we are, 1 month later, and I just actually cleaned the palettes a little bit. I just took a brush and just brushed off because there was lots of stuff here on the corners, like eyeshadow debris, and around the eyeshadows a little bit. And there's the Kiko Milano one. So, I mean, the 2 palettes couldn't be any different. As you can see, Kiko Milano quite cool toned, and this is quite a warm toned one, the Spritz palette from Viseart. The Kiko Milano one super lightly pigmented, and the Viseart one super strongly pigmented. To actually give you a few swatches, this is the Kiko Milano one. Very, very lightly. Saying that though, the pigments come up much darker on the eye, so they look better on the eye than they look on hand swatch, and the hand swatch is just, they just look a bit bad. And let me swatch a few from the Viseart one. There we go. Of course, this is much better pigmented, which is why you see, I mean, I used both of them for the last month now, and I can see proper dips in the Kiko Milano one. So I mean, I'm not close yet to hitting pan because the pan actually seems to be quite deep, because from this shade here a lump fell out the other day. I don't know what that was, like literally like a lump of eyeshadow. I guess it wasn't properly, I don't know, stirred or something, and there was like a little lump in there and it just came out, and there's no pan underneath that, so no pan yet, so I still have to dig quite a bit. But you can see proper usage out of this one. And then the Viseart one, because they're so highly pigmented, even though I used it, some of them, they don't even look like used, like this shade here, and I definitely used it, or that over here and that over there. Overall, this one would be probably one I would pan. I decided to keep it. I could have probably said, oh well, it's not much pigmented, but yada yada yada, I could just chuck it. But this is actually a really good one to throw on, or even like if you're on business travel and you just want a really light wash of color, nothing too complicated, nothing where you have to think too much about it, that you overpower on your eyes with pigment. So you can literally just take it, lighter shade, darker shade in the outer corner, and you're done, which is really good. I like that, and this is why I actually decided to keep it. And what I did on some of the days, what I really like to do is I used one of the more purpley looking ones, properly put it on the eyes, and then I would bring in one of my single eyeshadows. So this is Shuffle the Cards from Topshop. It's a super old one, but this one actually is like a really nice duochrome, and I would just put it on top of it. And I'm filming in daylight and it's a bit dark outside. It doesn't really translate properly, but it looked really good. Let me actually check if I can find a light or something to show it. Okay, found a light. So I mean, it's just so sparkly. So this is what I did on some of the days. I would literally just take really simple Kiko Milano, and if I wanted to judge it up a little bit, I just go into my single eyeshadow collection and put a little topper on there. And this one really surprised me actually. I would in the Viseart, I would go in the first few days, I would go just to typical shades. I really like this one, this one, this one, this one, bit of this one. I would just go into them, and I neglected a little bit the last row. So the last week I really tried to focus on that row a little bit to get a bit more usage out of that, and it really surprised me. Super warm toned, of course, but I really love the look on my eyes, and they are so blendable, easily blendable. It's so nice. You just take a bit of this shade or this shade on the edges and blend it all out, and it just looks so good. So I'm really happy to have this one in my collection, and I definitely will keep it in my collection. I would never rule out to pen this one because I have way too many eyeshadow palettes, and I would eventually go through all of them, but I'm just really happy to have this one. I mean, the size of the pens is really good. You don't need much more, let's face it, especially if you have lots of eyeshadow palettes, and it's so compact and you have so many shades in there, so it's just so versatile to do so much with this little palette, which makes me really happy, because this one, at the end of the day, you can't do too many different things. It would just always look a little bit same, and because the pigmentation is not there, it makes it tricky to do more out of it. Saying that, it is a good one for day to day and just a really light wash of color. But yeah, overall I'm really happy. I got some good use out of these ones, and now I need to think about which palettes to use next. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.